No, I gotta brag, cause we got a lot of swag. Tommy Stosh in the lab, yeah. Bringing you sports, who's hot and bad? We got Poff's pet peeves, yeah, what makes my Pops mad? If we say he's a beast, then that
Are we on? Oh, we are. Oh, wow. We had to take a little Poff Pass break, but we are back, baby. What a grab by Ben Revere there for the Philadelphia Phillies. Unfortunately for Revere and the Phillies, they're not going to be playing in the postseason.
Yeah.
And that brings us in. JT Blaze, time to put on your prediction hat. Let's start with the American League East. We don't even really need to talk about it, right?
I just want to say I was right. I mean, I called it, was it 3 weeks ago when we did the show? Was it you who had Tampa Bay and me who had Boston? I think we know who got that one right. Boston not only, here's one little stat for you. Boston was top 5 in all hitting categories. Now they're top 2. This team is, they're monsters. They're monsters in a monster.
You know what? I'm 25. I was going to get something wrong eventually. That's pretty good for me. It took me 25 years to get a prediction wrong. There's no such thing as a...
Do we have to bring up the Zach Poff curse
ZPC
resume? The one thing you've gotten wrong, really?
Let's just say that ZPC works, that my buddy ordered me a shirt for my birthday because that thing does happen. The ZPC curse works. Let's move on to the AL Central. We both have the Boston Red Sox. They've basically almost clinched the American League East.
Wait, AL Central?
Yeah, American League Central. Who you got?
I thought Boston was in the East.
That's what I said. We both have Boston. Let's keep this together here.
Okay.
And you know, if you check out the intro song, this kid forgets the C because it's right here
I
on
know.
our shirt. SCSN, and he still
We'll
goes
get a
SSN.
re-edit. Okay. AL Central, Detroit.
That'd be like me calling you JT Lays.
Okay, whatever, Zeke. Yeah.
Detroit Tigers,
Detroit.
baby. They've got the best player in all of baseball, Miguel Cabrera. This guy's an absolute stud, and in my opinion, I would say he is a better hitter than Albert Pujols was, and I believe Miguel Cabrera is the second best hitter I've seen in my lifetime outside. This hurts to say as a Dodger fan, but outside of Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds is the best hitter I've ever seen. Ken Griffey Jr. is right there too, but I think Miguel Cabrera is the second best hitter I've ever witnessed with my own eyes.
The only thing I can give Pujols now is he's done it consistently longer, but the one difference is he never had a crown on his head.
And
he never
also,
pulled
too,
the triple crown out.
We're not the same age as our executive producer, Gregory Brian Poff, because, he was able to watch Babe Ruth back in the early 20s and the 30s, so he was able to watch Murderous Row back in the late 1920s. So we didn't have that privilege to watch guys like Ted Williams and those, so we got guys like Miguel Cabrera.
But what's funny is his numbers are being compared to the black and white photos, proving just how dominant this guy has been. I agree.
I don't know if he's going to catch Chris Davis in the home run category, but he has a chance to become the first player ever in Major League Baseball history to win back-to-back.
Just to say that doesn't even seem like a human person could even accomplish that. Back-to-back triple crown.
Okay,
it's such a legendary award.
I'm sorry. We'll end the bromance. At least, I don't have significant other
you
with
gotta
my
give
brother. But let's move on from the bromance with Miguel Cabrera. Let's go to the AL West. Our producer, our director, basically the dude running everything behind there with his boy Brian Stosh. Big A's fan. We're going with your A's, man. They've got a nice win against Yu Darvish once again. Yu Darvish now 1-6 career against the Oakland Athletics. You want to talk about a pitcher with the nastiest stuff? His name is Yu Darvish, but not against the Oakland A's. A's now have a 5.5 game cushion in the American League West. I think the A's got this.
Not to brag, but I also picked the A's
So
3 weeks ago.
So
yeah,
did I.
But it was a lot more of a questionable pick back then. Now the A's have been dominating. Our boy Stosh called it. But one thing I want to point out, too, Rangers have lost 5 in a row now with this Yu Darvish going down today. So they may not even make the playoffs at this rate, while the A's have been reeling.
To our wild card. Who you got for your 2 wild card spots?
This was a tough decision for me. At the end of the day, though, I just think the other teams that Texas is going against, they still have enough pitching and a deep enough lineup to get some wins and bounce back. I said there's a chance they may not make it.
Why would you say that if you have that written down on your sheet?
What? I have Texas written down in my wild card.
So why would you say they
because
might not
Texas
make it
has a chance, because they still have a chance. When it comes to the wild card prediction and how close Cleveland is and Kansas City coming up, I won't be that surprised if another team catches them. Yeah, so that's why. There's 4 teams. The other team, Tampa Bay. I still think Tampa Bay is going to hold up too. They've won their last 2 games. They have a pretty good pitching staff. Give me Tampa Bay and Texas.
I don't know what I was drinking this morning, but I'm getting a little crazy here, and I'm going with the New York Yankees. I really think they're playing really good baseball. Alfonso Soriano's been one of the best players. Well, neither is the Boston Red Sox, outside of Clay Buchholz, who missed over just about 2 months.
I disagree. The Boston has Lester's 13-8, Peavy's 11-5, Lackey's 9-12, but these guys can get it done, and they have playoff experience, really. Comparing that to the Yankees staff? No way. Not even comparable. And you want to get to the bullpen? Your boy Mariano hasn't been really pulling anything off in the second half either.
Last time I checked, Mariano Rivera was second in the American League in saves.
Yeah, but he was first before the All-Star break
No,
and went reeling.
Jim Johnson had more saves at the All-Star break.
So he has not been the same closer since the All-Star break. That's my point. In fact, he has not even looked anywhere near the same closer he was at the beginning of the year to now. I just don't think the Yankees have the pitching when you compare them to other teams. But who knows? Like I said, I'm not even that faithful in Texas, so we'll see.
Give me the Yankees, and I like this is the only reason I'm picking
Here we
the
go.
Cleveland Indians.
I knew it.
The only reason I'm picking
Why stop now?
The only reason I'm picking the Cleveland Indians, they only have 3 more games against a team above 500, and that's the Kansas City Royals. I mean, Terry Francona, arguably the American League Manager of the Year
I
this
agree
year,
with you
has done
there.
a phenomenal job. And I would love to see the Cleveland Indians and the Boston Red Sox in the postseason just to see Tito Francona against his old squad who did him dirty. I would love to see that matchup. Give me the Yankees. Give me the Indians. I'm going out on a limb here. And it doesn't stop in the National League. So let's move on over. National League East, Atlanta Braves a lock, right?
Lock. Pretty much all the teams in the division are locks.
Except the Central.
Yeah.
The Central's still
Yeah, the Central's
St.
the
Louis,
one.
Pittsburgh Reds.
Yeah.
Who you got?
This was tough, and I definitely think all 3 of these teams are going to make the playoffs. But at the end of the day, give me St. Louis. I just like their pitching staff, and their lineup has some talented guys. Beltran's been getting it done all year.
Stosh and I were
Carpenter.
talking earlier, yeah, Matt Carpenter is probably the most underrated baseball player this year. And Alan Craig went
Alan
down
Craig.
with that serious ankle injury, but Adams has done a phenomenal job coming in his place. A big-time, big boy power hitter. Hits those country hard balls at least 400 feet.
And you still have the best catcher in the game also. Don't forget about Molina either. So they're just a all-around balanced team, and I think that's going to get them enough wins at the end of the day.
NL West, I like the Arizona Diamondbacks coming back and winning that division.
Really?
No, Dodgers.
Oh, I thought you meant them. They're not going to make the wild card. There's no way. They're
500.
done. Yeah. I'm going Pittsburgh, Cincinnati for the wild cards.
Pirates are going to choke. They're not going to make it.
I think if they would have choked, they already would have done it by now,
The
though.
Washington Nationals have the best record in baseball since August 20th.
Too bad they had the worst record in baseball 3 months before that.
They're only 4.5 back of the wild card
You're
spot.
just holding because they were your team at the beginning of the year. Now there's that heartbeat.
They're
No,
back,
they got a
baby.
chance.
They're back, baby. Their
No.
pitching's nasty. Their hitting is doing phenomenal right now. I like the Reds and the Nationals getting into the playoffs, and I like the Nationals beating them in that one wild card game.
Wow. See, just taking the national bandwagon. Why not?
Got to stick with it. Everything's crashing down in Washington, so maybe the Nationals can get things back afloat. So real quick, we'll just move on to our World Series prediction. We won't do the whole playoff thing. 25-year anniversary, 1988. Stosh is going to hate me after this one, but I can just picture it in my head. You've got Rick Monday on the call. Kirk Gibson steps up into the plate, and it is gone.
Gone.
Off Dennis Eckersley, who I believe won the American League Cy Young that year. And what a great series.
I'll never
5
forget.
games.
I was, 6 months old? 2 years
It was
old?
1988. What year were you born?
I was 2 years old at the time, and I'll never forget it. It was like yesterday. My blankie in one hand, Baba in the other. Go Dodgers!
Your
Yeah.
what? Your what?
My Baba, my bottle. Never mind. Go Dodgers. They're due, man. They are due.
I like it, man. Dodgers
Due
over
since I
A's.
was 2.
And
Yeah.
the thing with the Dodgers, they like to do this every 25 years. 1988, they won the World Series. 1963, they beat the New York Yankees also. So every 25 years, the Dodgers win the World Series. It's going to happen again this year. Don Mattingly, you got to love his performance as the manager for the Dodgers. I think he will win the National League Manager of the Year. Also, a guy that was supposed to get fired when June started.
And Dodgers, if you do win it, please don't wait another 25 years after. If you do somehow win the World Series, let's try, speed up the
Hey,
consistency.
We don't want Jake drinking from his Baba
Yeah.
and crying on his little blanket.
Thank
if you
you.
guys take this
So
long.
please help me. Don't make me default to my Baba.
So real quick, we're going to take a quick glance at some of the big-time series left in the season this year. Texas has a 4-game series at Tampa Bay, the 2 leaders in the
Ooh,
wild card.
that's gonna be
And they have
fun.
another 3 games at Kansas City. Tampa Bay, as I mentioned, they play against Texas. And then they also have 3 more against the Yankees in New York and 4 more
Wow.
against the Baltimore Orioles. The Orioles play Boston 6 more times, and they play Tampa Bay 4 times. So that's 10 games against teams they're fighting for that race. Obviously, Boston has the AL East on lock. Cleveland, as I mentioned, only 1 series against a team of about 500. Real quick, we'll move over to the National League Big Series. Pittsburgh has 6 against Cincinnati, a home and a road. And Washington has Atlanta 3 more times. The Braves will be resting guys, so it's kind of not a big series as most would think. 3 at St. Louis, 3 at Arizona. So we'll see. We'll see who is right on the predictions. You were right with Boston
Yeah.
3 weeks ago, so you're probably going to be wrong this time around, baby.
I just want to point out, listening to all those matchups, how can you argue against the wild card? This is making regular season baseball that much more entertaining. All those matchups pretty much are dictating who's going to make the wild card. And the wild card is up in the air. The divisions aren't. So to have the wild card and these teams still have a chance to make the playoffs, I love it. Give me more wild cards. I'll take it all day.
He's just getting you ready, baby, for Poff's Pet Peeves at the end of the show. So make sure and stay tuned for that. We are going to take another commercial break. And when we do come back, baby, Ultimate Fighting Championship, top 5 fights left here, calendar year 2013. There's some big-time fights lined up. Good job, Dana White and Joe Silva. We'll be right back. Send it over to another SCSN commercial.
So you know I gotta brag.